Yo, watching out for Daddy. Hey, that's my dad.
Okay, time to pack. Okay, what am I forgetting? You, of course. So listen, just be safe in there. I'll see you at the airport. Hey, how's it going? Right. Managed to get to OR Tambo in time. So I realize you don't know why I'm here. I'm actually going to be part of a very cool conference on fatherhood. This whole weekend I'm going to be talking about being a dad and about fathers and about my experiences with other dads to a bunch of people who are hopefully going to be making movies and TV series about it. So like writers and producers and that sort of stuff. Okay, after a little bit of a wait, got my bag eventually. Now I think there's someone coming to pick me up. I should really check these details before I leave home. Yeah, I'm not very good with traveling. Okay, finally got into my hotel room and met some cool people along the way. We drove in from the airport together and I think it's going to be a really cool weekend. What I've been thinking about though over the last couple of days as I was planning for this trip and getting ready for it was that I've had a lot of really great conversations about fatherhood to like various people and with various dads. And I want to tell you about all of those things and I want to talk about it more, but I'm so hungry. I think I need to get some supper. Okay, so the conference is about to start and I kind of overslept and missed breakfast, so this is my breakfast. This whole thing is about promoting positive concepts of fatherhood, and that's what I'm all about, right? So this whole weekend I get to talk about how to like engage fathers and how to talk about fathers in a positive way and how to encourage active fatherhood. Like, that is my jam.
Father absence is not a sentence, it is a risk factor. And one of our key things today and through this program is to not undermine the role of single mothers.
Okay, so we've just finished the first major session. It's time for lunch now. And how great is this light coming out of this window? I look good. So like I've been saying, this whole video is really just about taking a moment to look back and appreciate the great conversations that I've had about fatherhood and the great conversations I've had to fathers over the last month. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll know that I asked the question a couple of weeks ago, just like, hey everyone, tell me about the good dads in your life. Maybe it's your husband or your partner or your dad or just a guy you know. Yes, I expected like maybe one or two people to respond to that, but I got just an overwhelming response on Instagram and on Facebook. And somehow I went and lost the Instagram comments. I'll see if I can find them later. So this is what some people had to say about the dads that they know. This is from Facebook. Darren Colquin, what an amazing father you are. I started crying when I described what an amazing dad you will be when we had our psychological assessment for our adoption application. Today you are truly the dad to our son I imagined you to be. You are definitely his role model and hero. Oh my goodness, Darren, you are doing something right. For anyone to say something about that, about anyone, you are in the right space, man. How about this? Gregory Faree, shout out for being an amazing dad. Never getting upset, angry, or impatient no matter how much they bug or talk or cry or demand your attention. Yeah, Greg, can you teach me how to be more patient and calm, please? Because apparently you've got that down waxed. There's this one about Garrick Sangster. For stepping up to the all-round best dad ever played, though examples were far and few between for you when you were growing up, and being the best partner to raise our son in today's society. Gareth, you are breaking the cycle of bad fatherhood. You are kicking ass, dude. And then there were these guys, Rabin, Owen, and Dale. When I asked Joanna why you guys were getting a shout out, she said, it's hard to whittle down to one thing because they are genuinely all awesome dads, but perhaps their kindness the most. Kindness that starts in their respective families and just radiate out into the world. You see, great dads have an effect on the people around them, not just their own families, but their communities. And it is great to hear that they are dads like everyone I've just mentioned. I love hearing about dads who are doing a great job because it inspires me. I can look at those messages and go, oh, these guys are doing these things that are having a positive effect on their community and on their families, and these are the things that their partners appreciate about them. Well, if that works for them, then maybe it'll work for me too. Maybe I should work on being more kind, or being more patient, or being more engaged, or being really dedicated and focused, because that's what is making a big difference in the people around them. And if they can do it, so can I. Okay, I'm late for lunch, so I'm going to tell you about the other big conversation I had about fatherhood a little bit later on. But right now, my tummy's rumbling. I just finished the full second day of the conference, and my mind is like frazzled because the amount of conversations I've had about fatherhood in the last day has probably been equal to the amount I've had in the last 6 months, and it's been with some of the smartest people I've ever met. So, whew. But what's interesting is that I had another really interesting conversation about fatherhood with a totally different group of people about 2 weeks ago. It was during a workshop with the U-Turn ministry, which is a ministry that helps homeless people not just get off the streets for a bit, but actually stay off the streets in a holistic way. And they were holding a workshop that was partly looking at fatherhood. So I sat down with about 25 men who come from various vulnerable situations, and we spoke about their thoughts about fatherhood. What was interesting is that there was a lot of similarities, and there were obviously a lot of things that were very different from my experience. I mean, for instance, the one guy, his father was a gangster, and he used to be a gangster, but he got out of that life. But his son is still in a gang, and he's struggling to figure out how to guide his son and lead his son, and even to relate to his son, who only wants to talk about that gang life. I can't relate to that. But on the other hand, I asked them what their biggest fears about fatherhood was, and it was the most relatable stuff. It was like whether or not they were going to be a good enough father, how to protect their children, how not to be overprotective. Will they be able to guide their children and raise children that can cope in this world? And that's stuff that we can all relate to. So that was a really difficult and complex conversation for me to have, because I'm talking with men who have seen and been affected by the worst parts of our society. They've come from incredibly abusive backgrounds, they've come from violent backgrounds, they've come from a world that has kind of disregarded them as being worthwhile, and now they somehow have to find the self-esteem and self-worth to go on and be good dads. I don't have that. But the one thing we did have in common was that everyone in that room knew that positive fathers play an important role in society. They knew that a good dad can have a really huge effect on a child's life for his entire or her entire life. I didn't have to explain that, I didn't have to justify that. Those men totally knew and understood that concept right off the bat. And for me, that's really the most important thing, right? Everything else is really just details of how that is played out in your own personal life. And that's obviously massively encouraging, right? Because it's amazing to know that there are men in all sorts of socioeconomic circumstances that believe that there's real value in being a good dad. That being a positive father is one of the best things a man can be. It's not the only thing a man can do. It's not the only good thing a man can do. But hey, if you are a dad, this is your chance to do something big and do something important. And yeah, that feels like cool. We're not alone. Okay, like I said, I've had a big day of thinking and processing, and I've had to think about my own father and myself as a father and all sorts of very complicated stuff. So I'm going to talk to you tomorrow because I really need to call my family. Man, I'm missing them. Okay, just made it to the airport and about 5 minutes to go before I have to board my flight. Just some big thoughts that have come out of this whole 3-week journey that I've had in talking about fatherhood to dads. Is that there is some real benefit to talking to other dads. And I kind of do that a lot, obviously with Aphrodite. That's kind of the point of Aphrodite. But you have to ask yourself that question. If you are a dad, are you talking to other dads? And not just about sports or about the weather or about, I don't know, what the economy is doing, but actually about the nitty-gritty stuff about fatherhood. Are you having those hard conversations? If you're not, why not? And if you want to get started, message me. We could do it online. You can send me a DM via the website or via Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and we can get a conversation going about like the real good stuff and tough stuff and awkward stuff and confusing stuff around fatherhood, and it'll make your job as a dad so much better. At least that's been my experience. Right now though, I have to go home so I can be a dad. Cheers, guys.
You're watching out for Daddy. Hey, that's my dad.